26-year-old woman, and this story begins 16 years ago, when I was 10 and standing by my mother's grave. Everything felt cold, too quiet for a funeral, too quick to be real. I remember holding onto the sleeves of my dress and waiting for someone to tell me what to do. My father didn't want me to sit in the front row. He said it was for the adults, so I sat alone in the back, watching strangers cry harder than I did. When we got to the cemetery, I finally broke down. I was standing near the headstone, crying so hard I could barely breathe. A woman I didn't recognize came up behind me. She put her hand on my shoulder and leaned in close. "Don't cry," she whispered. "It makes people uncomfortable." I didn't answer. I just stared at the dirt. That was Lisa, my father's friend. I hadn't seen her before, but she acted like she belonged there. 3 months later, they were married. No big wedding. No announcement. One morning I woke up and she was in the kitchen making pancakes like she had always lived there. The bedroom my mother used to sleep in with my dad now had Lisa's clothes in the closet. The scent of my mother's perfume was gone. The picture of her on the hallway table was missing. I found it later in a plastic storage bin in the garage, underneath piles of books and half-used cleaning products. The bin next to it had my mother's wedding dress, stuffed into a black garbage bag. When I asked my dad why, he just said Lisa didn't want shrines to the past in the house. He made me delete every photo of my mom from the living room walls. He said it was time to move on. Lisa didn't waste time pretending. She introduced herself at my school as my mother. I found out when a teacher asked me if I was okay with my mom attending the parent conference. I said she wasn't my mother. The teacher looked confused. That same week, I came home to find Lisa wearing my mother's necklace. It had a gold locket with a tiny picture of me as a baby. Okay. She wore it like it belonged to her. I stopped speaking to her except when I had to. When she told me to call her mom, I refused. She said I was being difficult and that I needed to grow up. She called it adjustment issues. I called it pretending. The first Mother's Day after everything, Lisa threw a lunch party. She invited her own mother, set up the dining room, played music. I was the only one in the house not celebrating. I stayed in my room. When she came to get me, I said I didn't want to be part of it. She told me to stop moping around and said her mother deserved to be celebrated even if mine didn't. By then, I had started writing in journals. Every night after school, I would take 20 minutes to just write down everything. The things Lisa said, the changes in the house, what I remembered about my mom. No one knew about the journals. I kept them in a box under my bed. One day in 7th grade, I refused to go home. I sat outside the school gate and waited until the building closed. The principal called my father, who was furious. I ended up sitting with the school counselor for an hour. She was the first adult who didn't brush things off. I saw her once a week after that. Lisa wasn't happy. She said I was painting her as some kind of monster. She started checking my bedroom when I wasn't home. I moved the journals to my locker. By the time I turned 16, Lisa had gone from cold to controlling. She didn't like it when I missed family dinners, didn't answer her calls, or locked my door. On her birthday, I didn't show up to the restaurant. I had told my dad I had a project and couldn't come. When I got home that night, Lisa was waiting. She slapped me across the face before I could take my shoes off. I left the next morning. My aunt, my mom's sister, had offered me a room years ago. I finally said yes. I packed 2 duffel bags and never looked back. My father didn't call, not even once. Lisa told the rest of the family I had emotional problems, that I was acting out for attention. Some believed her, some didn't, but no one came to check. I stayed with my aunt through the rest of high school and into college. She gave me the kind of space that felt safe. She never asked too many questions, just made sure I had what I needed. When I turned 18, she handed me a small box. It had a necklace in it, the twin to the one my mom used to wear. My mom had given it to her years ago, just in case. That necklace is still with me. I wear it on the hard days. This story isn't about grief, not anymore. It's about everything that came after. It's about the life I built on the ashes Lisa thought she could sweep away.